जो कि लगभग सर्वमान्य होगी। इस दृष्टि से ये जो आप लोगों की बैठक होगी, कॉन्क्लेव होगा, उसका लाभ सकारात्मक रूप से निकल सके, ऐसी मैं अपेक्षा करूंगा। नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद सर आपके एक सशक्त मार्गदर्शन के लिए। और इसने आज की विमर्श की हमारी दिशा को एक नया आयाम दे दिया है। और मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा राष्ट्रीय पुस्तक न्यास के निदेशक श्री युवराज मलिक जी को कि वो इस पूरे कॉन्क्लेव के कॉन्सेप्ट
almost 40 countries participating, and the theme of this fair is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It must be very unusual for you to think and to come to a book fair. Our idea was very simply for two-dimensional thought process. One, what scale we have, we want you to see it yourself and take away and let us know what we can deliver for you at the stage level. When you go around, you will find all publishers who keep coming one by one with different proposals, thought processes. When you see them under one roof concept, it will definitely give you new perspective how collaborations can be achieved and what is the actually quality content all about. It is not what we get into our offices in government. It is much bigger than that, and then let's choose the best one. Another important aspect of getting this event club with book fair is, of course, visit is one part of it. Second is conveying the message that what we can take away from here. Most important part is that we are a very important stakeholder as knowledge partner of the nation. We are not just a publisher. No, not at all. We are the knowledge partner. So we not only publish, we also create the content. So when we create the content, it is very, very clear to us that content is the only key. Content will survive and content has to be the first priority while publishing anything. What should be the content? Content should be age appropriate. It should be language oriented. The language the child understands. The language teacher is going to understand. Where he is going to use it as a pedagogy. The language the parents are going to understand. Please, ma'am. We have been joined with us, Joint Secretary Mukta ma'am. She will also be, she's handling the National Library Mission. And her presence is very integral to the project. Thank you so much, ma'am. Why? Because Budget 2023 has very explicitly given a mandate that there will be a national digital library all across the country to provide age-appropriate content in various languages of the country. When we say country, at least those 22 languages which are in the Constitution, in the Schedule 8. So this library mission, how that will be implemented, you are one of the important stakeholders because you have that ecosystem of school education with you, which are going to be the end user. So the delivery point and the terminal point has to be together. How this content will be organized, what will be the mechanism of it. Physical library is a very easy thing to develop. Create a building, keep some good almirahs, buy some books very ruthlessly, indiscriminately, without any thought process. Put some posters, libraries there. But to run it and to make it functional is a challenge. To make children pick a book and read is a challenge. To create that habit of book reading is a challenge. How we are going to tackle that? Can we totally outrule the physical libraries? Since we are in 21st century and national digital mission is going on, no. Both things will go hand in hand. Because both of them have their merits and demerits. So the solution is, when we are launching National Digital Library Mission, we have to understand that digital content is going to come, but where is that content? Who will give it? In so many languages, so many age groups, in so many cultural diversities. That's where the role of national institutions like National Book Trust and others come into play, where we are going to deliver the content and how we are further going to disseminate at the state level. Are we going to create that kind of infrastructure? What are the plans the states have? How they are going to do it in pilot basis or phases? What are the requirements they have? I take a simple example. If there's a book of about Kerala, I'll take. It's in Malayalam. I like that book, like that story. I want to take it and let my children from North in UP or Uttarakhand or Rajasthan should read it. I translate it into that. I do it. Very nice. So, Kerala book, Malayalam book is in a northern state in Hindi or English is welcome. But how will that child understand that man in Kerala is wearing a lungi and doing a job, and a man in Punjab is putting a pug? I have not changed the illustrations. I have not changed the graphics. There is a clash of thoughts. So the content has to go with a lot of sensitivity. This is the important platform where we are discussing, when we are looking for content, how it will go, what will be the format. It can't be indiscriminate translations. Translation is a force multiplier to create content into multiple languages. But how? That's why we are here. Another important point is that now we have put NEP Pavilion. That will orient you when you go, but inside all stakeholders, NCRT stalls are there, NIOS is there, AICT, UGC, a lot of IITs, a lot of IIMs. Not only school education, we can go and see what different states are doing, what different stakeholders are working out to implement NEP, and how we can absorb that part of messaging into our curriculum. Sir has told Jadui Pitara, the first curriculum of early learning has come up. It has come up in primary languages. Now it has to come into regional languages, because NEP says that education should be in the language, mother tongue, regional tongue, what the language you follow in schools in your local region. That content has to go in so many dimensions. So that is the whole focus here. I will request you to kindly attend this NEP pavilion and meet all stakeholders, especially school level, NCRT, CSDT and others, because they are the ones who are going to implement and who are going to set the foundation for implementation of NEP. Another important point is, it's new era. It's not only e-books which you can download on your mobile. We are heading to audio books, talking books, touch books, tactile books, toy integrated learning, and especially when we talk about Anganwadi, that is the point where I want to emphasize. If a child is going to gain 80% of intellectual brilliance till 6 years of age, and that content is lacking and missing, then we have lost half the battle. How will we make that child to pick up? That is why the drop rate increases, because the child starts losing interest. The enrollment ratio is almost 100% at the grassroots level, 96, 98%. Then the moment it reaches 10, it touches 77, 78. The moment it is 12th class, it is around 60, 70%. The moment it is in college, it is 27%. So where are these 50%? Where are they? One of the reasons of this dropping gross enrollment ratio is that we are not able to connect the child in the learning process. We are into rote learning, and that's where the supplementary reading, augmented reading comes into play, and we are providing content where textbooks are silent. So when you select you have all the laid out procedures, you have experts groups, but when you go for the content, please let's do a survey of our textbook first. Instead of putting in discrimination, where textbooks are silent, let our supplementary books speak. That is why we have same biography in 3 segments. Up to 5th class also, up to 12th class also, and elder also. The child who is interested in learning about Bhagat Singh, Gandhi, Tagore, he is learning 10 pages biography, then he is learning in 50 pages, and when he is grown up, he is very more inclined to learn, he has 700 pages also. The idea is the content has to be very, very customized. Otherwise, you cannot force a child to go and pick a book and read it. Now, capacity building of the teachers who are going to do it, how that will be done? We have to carry out that also. How to make library interactive? Library should invite, it should be the best place, most comfortable place, most enjoying place, and the content should speak. You have to integrate physical also, because the survey says in Oxford recently done that the learning through physical books is 25 to 27% more than the e-books. We have Google, the data is overlapped, but physical books have a reference value, which is quicker and more, the retention is almost 21 to 3% more. So 20 से 27% का आपको gain physical से मिल रहा है, but at the same time, the accessibility, affordability, other issues are there. How to make it function? So this balance has to be. I just wanted to give a perspective to that. We are here to understand your requirement, your issues. That many states last year gave us, especially Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, they want book in bilingual format, which we are doing. A child in early age knows Hindi, parents knows Hindi, but he wants Odia to pick up or Tamil. So this concept of bilingual books you will see downstairs. So this is where you should tell us. When we went deep into it, they told we don't want Hindi English. We want only Bastari, Chhattisgarhi, Gondi. So that means you have to take into further into dialects or tribal languages. You have. Some of the states have so much of diversity that they have all three segments. उनको ट्राइबल भी चाहिए, उनको सेंट्रल लैंग्वेज भी चाहिए जो प्रोमिनेंट है, और उनको रीजनल लैंग्वेज भी चाहिए. So you have to produce content even in trilingual format. That is the kind of challenge your diversity gives you. It's your strength also. So another point was ECC learning. So we must focus on the grassroots level where Anganwadis are there, and we have those workbook worksheets which can be customized into that. And we will create content not sitting in Delhi. You would love to come to your place, in your city, sit with your experts, take local educationists, cultural experts, language experts, and then sit and understand, create workshop and create content in the place you want it rather than sitting in AC in Delhi. And that's what we have been doing for the last 2 years. Content creation at that place has to be used, and then give it back to them and then take user trial. Parents क्या बोलता है उसको लेके, टीचर क्या बोलता है, बच्चा क्या बोलता है, कितनी देर उसको रिटेन करता है. Then we get to know कि हमारी book successful है कि नहीं है. Another important audit, which I personally have done it, that know where the psychological audit of book is being done. So much of content irresponsibly is being published. We should take at least one psychologist in every expert group and tell at least to do the psychological audit. What book is inappropriate at what age? I may understand violence at when I am 18 or 20, but I cannot understand violence at 10 or 12 years of age. So let's not pick that kind of content. Some of the time, some of the states, finance books have been selected. I have requested them kindly do not recommend this kind of book for this age group. You can select this book, this is our book, but this is not age appropriate book. So that is another criteria. When we are here today, we are very open to your suggestions. Please visit the book fair, do see the theme pavilion where Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav India's journey for last 200 years is displayed. You will see the original handwritten jail diary of Shaheed Bhagat Singh, which he used to write when he was in jail. And morning, he used to get up, go for remand and come back his experience. Ink copy, I'm not saying digital scan, ink copy, and see the beautiful writing expressions that man at 21 years of age he has achieved. We have International Pavilion, France is the guest of honor. See the France culture, how they set up their bookstore. They have a concept of open book cafe. When you go to G20 Pavilion, how the journey of 20 is flowing. 35 countries have put up their pavilion. Turkey is there. We have Saudi Arab, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah. They're the best in book fair segment. Then we have the children segment. Just see, all of you, it's my request when you have time, how activities are organized, storytelling, drawing, poster making, stamp making, calligraphy. We want to do these things free of cost, without any charges, to do your capacity building at the state level. Give us an opportunity. Just give us platform, not the resources. Give us the support. Give us the access. We'll provide. There is nothing that in between the layers. We want to come to your place and deliver it there. Please go to the language pavilion. See the kind of publishers we have. How diverse is the content. On the top, just right on top of it is the NEP pavilion. How NEP can be implemented in your state. We want to take these kind of book fairs to your place. Those states who are willing for cooperation, we want support. We can ask the state government, chief secretary, governors, we can write and do all this. But end of the day, it will come down to the person who's sitting right here. It is the education department that has to deliver. So be backward to talk to the people who are going to matter, who are relevant, who are significant, and who has the mandate and capability to actually deliver. So this is the whole agenda about this meeting. Next few hours we are here. I'm happy. I'm available around the clock. If all together we can go, I personally can do a guided tour for all of you. I can give you the perspective, and I'll be very happy. We have already lined up Vikram Mahotsav and Ujjain Book Fair. We have already lined up with Bhubaneswar. We have lined up Pune. The states which are keen, Sir has given clearance to me to come to Ladakh and do Sindhu Festival, Book Festival, something. So we are very happy. We just want your hand holding. Hold our hand. We'll come and deliver in your place the way you want and do the capacity building. I'm sure book reading culture, books will become part of our generation, because unless our citizens read, country cannot lead. We have to read, then only we can lead, and that's why we have to deliver a good content, and content is the only key. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद सर। भाषा, सोशल इकोनॉमिक और कल्चरल डाइवर्सिटी हमारी लिए चैलेंज भी है और हमारी स्ट्रेंथ भी है। जैसा डायरेक्टर सर ने बताया कि आप सभी लोग इस बुक फेयर को जरूर देखें। आप सब लोगों से एक रिक्वेस्ट भी है कि यदि आप चाहें कि लास्ट 5 डेज में बुक फेयर में क्या हुआ है, व्हाट एक्टिविटीज वी हैव डन हियर, तो इसके लिए हम लोग हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों में डेली 8 पेजेस का एक न्यूज़पेपर निकाल रहे हैं। हिंदी में मेला वार्ता है और अंग्रेजी में फेयर टॉक है। You can have the copies which are available on our website also. So you can have the glance what we have done in last 5 days. How many activities? At least 100 activities a day. Not less than 100 activities. तो आप लोगों को ये देख के अच्छा लगेगा, स्पेशली चिल्ड्रन पवेलियन में हमारी जो एक्टिविटीज है उन सब आपको बहुत आनंद आएगा उसको देखकर। जो हमारा अगला आमंत्रण है प्रोफेसर सुधीर के लिए है। प्रोफेसर सुधीर डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिजाइन IIT दिल्ली में हैं और वो एडोलसेंट्स और बच्चों के लिए एक क्वालिटी का डिजिटल मटेरियल, रीडिंग मटेरियल कैसा डेवलप हो उसके लिए एक प्रेजेंटेशन देंगे। मैं आमंत्रित करता हूं प्रोफेसर सुधीर को। प्रोफेसर सुधीर को तैयारी में 2 मिनट लगेगा। तो मैं फिर से आप लोगों को बताना चाहूंगा कि यदि आपको न्यूज़लेटर्स को पाने में कोई दिक्कत हो तो आप हम में से किसी को भी बोल दीजिए। We will give you a set of last 5-6 days. You can have the broad prospectus what we have done here in the teen pavilion, in the foreign pavilion, in the children pavilion, in all other activities. हमारे यहाँ कौन-कौन से प्रमुख लेखक मंत्रीगण आए हैं, उन लोगों ने इस किताबों के बारे में, बुक फेयर के बारे में क्या कहा है, वो सभी चीजें आपको उस न्यूज़लेटर में मिलेगी। जैसा सर ने आपको बताया, हम लोग बहुत सारी ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस में किताबें ला चुके हैं। इनमें से कुछ ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस ऐसी हैं जिनको बोलने वाले बहुत कम लोग हैं, खास करके झारखंड के बिरहोरी, असुरी इस तरह की लैंग्वेजेस में किताबें लाए हैं। अभी लेटेस्ट हम लोगों ने उड़ीसा में देसिया, सोरा में बाइलिंगुअल बुक्स किया है। और जो रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस हैं जैसे मालवी, निबाड़ी, इनमें भी हम लोग बाइलिंगुअल बुक्स लेके आए हैं। तो आप सभी लोगों के यदि सजेशंस होंगे आपकी रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस को लेकर, आपकी ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस को लेकर, तो हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे कि उस तरीके के बाइलिंगुअल बुक्स लेके आ पाए। जैसे अभी देसिया, सोरा में हम जब वहां पर गए तो उन लोगों ने बोला वी नीड द बाइलिंगुअल बुक इन द उड़िया एंड देसिया एंड इंग्लिश इन देसिया, वी डू नॉट नीड द हिंदी। तो उसके अकॉर्डिंगली हम लोगों ने देसिया, उड़िया, देसिया, अंग्रेजी, सोरा अंग्रेजी और सोरा उड़िया, इस प्रकार की बुक्स को डेवलप किया है हम लोगों ने। अभी इसी प्रकार से कोंकणी में 10 बुक्स हिंदी कोंकणी और 10 बुक्स इंग्लिश कोंकणी, ये हमने काम किया। और यदि फोर्थकमिंग जरूरत पड़ेगी तो हम मराठी कोंकणी भी कर सकते हैं। तो हमारी बाइलिंगुअल बुक्स की ताकत यही है कि एक किताब को बहुत सारे बच्चे दोनों लैंग्वेज के साथ में, चित्रों के साथ में सीख सकते हैं। क्योंकि आप सभी लोग एजुकेशन में आप लोग जानते हैं कि टेक्स्ट बुक से जितना बच्चा सीखता है उससे कहीं अधिक इसके रंग, चित्र, आकृति और जिन चीजों में देश में क्रिश्चियन उससे कोई सवाल नहीं पूछेगा उस चीज से वो बहुत सारी चीजों को अपने आप सीख लेता है। तो ये किताबें, कुछ किताबें हम लोगों ने पीछे यहाँ पर लगाई भी हैं, और आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमारे स्पेशली बुक शॉप्स में जाकर जो रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस की हमारी बायलैंग्वेज बुक्स है उनको जरूर आप देखिए, तो आप लोगों को आनंद आएगा और आप लोगों से जो आउटपुट मिलेगा उसके अकॉर्डिंगली हम लोग और नए तरीके से इस दिशा में काम कर सकते हैं। प्रोफेसर सुरभि तैयार हैं, तो मैं आमंत्रित करता हूँ सुरभि जी को।
Very good afternoon and welcome all of the dignitaries and the Honorable Chief Guest from the state representatives and the director of NBT India. So myself, Professor Subir, and it is a matter of very delight and happiness that we are all gathered here for such a noble cause, which is children education and literature, and especially the content generation for children. So in this context, like I will just briefly lead you through that what kind of conversation and the kind of intellectual deliberation National Book Trust of India is having with the IIT Delhi, specific to Department of Design, and all the other few other departments also in kind of discussion. Can we change this thing? Yes. Right. So the brief talk about the deliberation which the IIT Delhi and NBT India is having is around the theme of for the young minds of the nation, and this is in the process of a joint dialogue, and dialogue and conversations are always necessary to arrive at a very deliberate conclusions so that they can implement in a much more deliberate and effective manner. So in this context, when we, excuse me, can you please keep on moving? Yeah. So this always gives me a lot of hope and courage that today we are doing these kind of activities which are not only gathering national significance, but also like guest of honor France is here and so many other international dignitaries are here. So we are also trying to gain significance in the international front, where the emphasis of children as a core part of society is discussed in so much of deliberation and with so much of care. Being an educator in academia and a working field of children education, I understand the power of talking about children's content because children are the future citizens, and as you all are aware, that how the current times are changing in what pace, especially in relationship to technology and the kind of intervention technology is making. So, a few decades back, the discussion was always that there would be a generation gap which can be ranging from 10 to 12 years. But in today's context, when we interact with undergraduate and postgraduate students, we clearly see that the generation gap is changing within 3 to 5 years. That's kind of reducing so fast. And technology and the need for good content and lots of intervention in digital media is one of the reasons that knowledge is so much available to the children of today's time. So talking about the role of society and children. So when we started the discussion with NBT almost a year back, and so far we have been having so many fruitful discussions and meetings, and gradually we are arriving at significant scope of work. We also call back to significant literature findings, especially from the international and national bodies, which hold lots of significance when it comes to data collection and quantitative analysis of the current state of the art. So in this case, the data provided by NCERT and the kind of projects which NCERT is also doing is significantly huge in terms of the kind of impact they're trying to project, especially deriving from the National Education Policy Framework. Also to mention more international bodies like UNICEF, which is also conducting lots of intense surveys, gathering lots of field data and participants' interviews, and including stakeholders like teachers, parents, and also trainers. So these kind of significant conclusions are very important to understand that what kind of categories are emerging in the current state of the art of education when it comes to younger children. And categories like out of school children, the numbers which have been like in millions. So there have been some sort of reduction in the numbers. That's a very positive and good way to look at it, because the kind of national level significant activities which we are doing. So in out of school age group, we have been able to do successfully some reduction in the numbers. But that does not mean that we have yet achieved the larger dream of providing quality educational content to all the young minds, because we run by sheer numbers when it comes to children population in India. And Ministry of Education has also very intense reports on what kind of children population goes to school and who cannot, and what are the significant parameters and reasons that they drop out of school. So these, along with the along with very positive and hopeful efforts from the recent past years, like the very recent undertaking by Union Budget in 2023, where the availability and accessibility of books across geographies, languages, and genres should be emphasized more based on the device agnostic possibilities. So this is something which the director NBT very positively mentioned, that why the content and the language is so much intricately weaved together, and that is part of the beauty of our nation, that we always thought from a very young age that unity in diversity is kind of our power. So probably that is where also we need to take in concern that how technology can also embrace this kind of diversity. So whether diversity in terms of language, in terms of differences in cultural nuances and understanding, or whether it is the matter in which the content is provided to different kind of regional children. National Education Policy 2020 has been a prolific and very significant milestone in the history of education in India, because after NEP framework, there has been so many different efforts, especially in IIT Delhi and other IITs also, where we as an educators also trying to line up our education system, especially when it comes to creating content for the younger children, but in the line of National Education Policy framework. Similarly, in the more context, when I was discussing the concept of and the findings of UNICEF and the kind of solution-based approach which UNICEF is having. So they have these kind of three verticals also identified, which also falls in sync with what currently the national education policy is also aligning itself. So of course, the early childhood education is a very important criteria, where we catch them young, but that is also where we are talking about the developmental years, because I think director also mentioned that how child psychology is so important to be tapped upon, so that we deliver them a very good and intellectually safe content. So that is where the developmental years and their studies come into play. And whoever is building the content, it's not only a unidirectional approach, but there has to be multiple stakeholders from designing to implementation, and also there are various modes, which is the kind of basis of the dialogue between NBT and IIT Delhi, which I'll cover. So out of school children and quality teaching and learning, these are the two other parameters which came into from the study and literature survey. So while the earlier literature and the findings were the kind of premise on which NBT and IIT Delhi started their discussion and talks, so we then started deliberating on the overall concept and the kind of verticals through which the whole discussion can formulate in a implementable and actionable format. So these are the broadly 5 verticals which have been so far identified, where probably IIT Delhi is also looking to intervene in certain stages. Okay. So when we talk about design, and as I think it's not any more surprising fact that whenever we're talking about content of the children, so content is something that always there will be a group of people or even an individual who is putting their hard work into the table, and either in front of paper or computer, coming up with all this wonderful content that they either believe and assume that it will touch the minds of the children, and in their growing years it will make some changes which is positive to the society. Nonetheless, I work in children comic books and graphic novels, that area, and for my own personal experiences also I have seen that the kind of comics and good graphic novels which I have read in my childhood, they had a very strong impression till my later years. Is in the first stages of due deliberation and coming to the concept, a nationwide implementation is the way forward, where we can address probably reaching to the most remotest location in India, where even a single child is in need of a good content, there should be access to those content. There should not be absolutely no reason to reach to them and delivering them. Accordingly, device responsive infrastructure is something which is the need of the hour, because smartphone penetration also has a lot of impact in the way the content is being consumed. And that also has a very strong relationship with the accessibility of the content based on the devices. So that means these three verticals will decide that what kind of delivery impact we can have once we have designed the content. So the third vertical is probably one of the also very significant vertical, which is the teaching, where we are looking at training and workshops for the educators who are actually first point of contact when the content gets delivered to either a school or a Anganwadi or even systems where there is no formal brick and mortar classroom. So those people are very important stakeholders in the whole plan, where there can be provision of providing them online tutorials, because with the need of device responsive and age appropriate content, there should be also very strong tutorials provided to the teachers that how to deliver the content, so that the intention of the content and the delivery, they are in sync. And of course the role of parents and teachers, that's also very primarily one of the pointers, because after a significant time, the child must be spending a significant time with their parents at home. So their education keeps on happening throughout their day and week. In the fourth vertical of assessment, and assessment is something which again I will take you from the director, that when he mentioned about the use of psychologists in the content supervision. So assessment is something which has to be very rigorous throughout all the content, both in the format of qualitative and quantitative feedback. For this, I do not mean that we have to make the students or children go through rigorous interviews, but here is again we have to be very creative in thinking and come with formats which are more activity-based and play-based. Conversations are something which has to be there, which are more open-ended, but also structured and unstructured, both with the children as well as the educator. And summing up the whole qualitative analysis through different kinds of quantitative analysis, so that we have some feasible data to look up to. The last phase, the iteration, which is also we are emphasizing a lot, because often it has been seen that once the content is designed and it's in the market and children are interacting it, so the shelf memory or the shelf life of that content is kind of either small to big depending on what kind of feedback is also taken on the content. So there is always a chance that if we take proper feedback and we keep proper structured eye on the what kind of content they are assuming and what's their feedback. So it will also help on redesigning the content, probably in different kind of phased manner. That also gives us a chance to improve the content. Need for lateral ideation, that means as and when the content is disseminated, what kind of inputs are coming from the children. Based on that, is there possibility to give them lateral thinking ideas. Mobile applications and gamification are further more expanded version of these dialogue, where probably we can introduce more gamification factors which can engage children in reading and retaining the content. And of course, in this manner, we can also assume and we are believing that a worldwide implementation should be the way forward. So in this whole dialogue, what is it that IIT is trying to provide as an intellectual resource, as Institute of Eminence? So in IIT Delhi, we have resources from especially these four verticals in which the whole dialogue between NBT and IIT Delhi is happening. So IIT Delhi does provide a very interdisciplinary research ecosystem, especially we have very strong departments of design and humanities and social sciences, computer science and electronics. which from the technological point of intervention is a beautiful ecosystem because we have also the intellectual resource who would love to contribute in this kind of noble cause. It's only a matter of sitting and finding the exact stakeholders from the departments and faculties who can lead the project and come up with implementable solutions. And of course, the proximity to NBT and within Delhi, that's again very added advantage, which is also should be taken an advantage being in Delhi. Quality education as a sustainable development goal is another very prolific alignment where I see most of the faculties, especially who are working in education, they are working right now. And either in some small micro to macro, they're trying to work and aligning this to providing quality content to that. So with this brief note, I would like to pause here and leave all of the stakeholders with the thought that what kind of more feedback you would like to provide in this kind of dialogue. Because after all, children are of course the core of society. And once we decide that what kind of good and intellectual content we provide to the children, so we can at least to some extent stay assured that we are providing also a good future to the nation. So with that, I will pause my talk here. Thanks a lot.
यदि आप लोगों से कोई आपका कोई सवाल है इसका क्वेश्चन कोई है
Thank you.
Are we doing this content for class 1 onwards? Can you pick like 1 to 10, something like this, or is it like learning area wise, like physical development, cognitive development? So we're doing it something that way?
Okay. So, so far what has happened that we are primarily taking NBT's existing content as the blueprint. And the way they have categorized is there, of course, there is age specific thing. But in terms of, let's say, if you are talking specifically about subject wise, let's say, language or gender studies and like that. So far we have not come into that larger categorization, but we are currently seeing that what is the existing content NBT has and then working upon that. So if the need arises that we need to provide categories like gender studies, literature, regional studies like that, we will gradually arrive at that.
Yes, thank you. Yes, not the text, non-curriculum.
Yeah.
So generally when we observe, when we go through the books related to the children, I feel that socio-emotional skills or the material related to the socio-emotional development is missing. So it is conveying the moral of the story, but the skills that are to be incorporated, especially the socio-emotional, to grow as good citizens. So I feel this content is to be incorporated in all the books, especially that were meant for the children.
Okay. So,
Psychomotor domain and emotional domain is.
Surely, because very truly you have pointed, ma'am, because in the recent years, as we are also navigating through this flux of intense technology, and there is also a resistance from. So I would not frame it in the manner of traditional versus modernist, nothing like that. But there is a significant difference when it comes to content consumption in a digital manner. There also a lot of question arises in terms of ethics and morals, the point which you're mentioning. And especially with the advancement of social media, actually these questions of ethics and moral are more becoming very burning topics. To the extent that even younger children group, probably even to my experience, even 8 to 10 years children age group, they are so much aware of their things like bodily boundaries, how to interact with elders, and what kind of age-appropriate behavior they need to do. So, for instance, one prominent area is that the pronouns, the use of pronouns that they would like to use. So these are the topics which probably, if each and every content can address in some vertical ways and including into the content, that's of course a takeaway message for the children.
Yes, sir. Especially I feel, especially regarding the growth of the girl child. So that is the need of the hour. So right from the younger age, that respect towards both especially towards the girl child, that should be inculcated. So what I felt when I landed onto the Delhi, so I felt that I landed on the land of that is Nirbhaya. So I was shocked and putting my feet onto the ground. Even now I am feeling emotionally such an, it is country's, what we say, so capital of this country. So many incidents we are observing throughout the nation. Why can't we inculcate such things? That is my intention to say this, express this. Thank you. Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot for bringing the point. Yeah.
I think there's just one thing that came in my mind, what you said, my addition to that. When we teach A for apple, so can we do it like eat an apple, or G for girl, so respect a girl, instead of asking some value-based questions later on in board exams. So the values should be embedded in each and every, even in the pictures, the diagrams, in the stories, illustrations also. But that is something which requires huge creativity.
Our mandate is not to develop the curriculum book. We are talking about is the extra curriculum book. These are the supplementary books. Our very first priority to bring out the reading material for the children is one thing, to give them something extension to their textbooks. Our books are not the translation of word in the illustration or the translation of illustration in the words. We use to develop the books, words are the extension of the translation, and the illustrations are the extension of the word. So our main motto is to bring out books for the proper entertainment, information. We just bring out one book in Hindi, Telangana ke Parv. Telangana ke Parv. In Hindi. And it is going very popular to us. We have bring out a couple of the books from the Bastar in the Assamia languages. And children are keen to know what is Bastar. They have learned, they have read something only from the newspaper. So our mandate is developing the books with the different. Of course, we are very sensitive with the, especially the girls' side, especially the visuals. In our books, we strongly disagree with any type of crime, हिंसा किसी तरीके का हम कभी शामिल नहीं करते. We just have one thing in the children books. We generally avoid the stories of Raja Rani. We want to put more and more on the democratic values. We do not have books on the Sarpanch, collector, SP. We do not have the books, the character and all these things. Why not? We are talking about the dynasty system. We never accept any manuscript which have such Raja Rani type characters. We just stop. To develop it, democratic values.
Namaskar. I am Mahesh Mehta from Gujarat. Respected Madam said that whenever she was on the Delhi, she remembered the Nirbhaya. So many good things are also related with Delhi. We should notice the changing Delhi under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister. We have noticed so many new things here. Before it was not possible. Actually, the states are free to develop the syllabus. Under the structured framework, the states are free to inculcate the moral values and the respect for the girl child. And every state is doing this. NBT's mandate is not related with the textbook or curriculum, according to my opinion. NBT's mandate is to bring the variety in the books, to bring the multi-variety books available for the all age groups. And we should have some separate time for the efforts of the states, couple of the minutes, according to my opinion, under the limited area for the books only. Thank you.
it is a good time to see that institution of excellence like IITs are now collaborating and printing of the books and all the things. My simple request to you people is that we generally see that the books for the blind, like the braille, they are written there, but they are packing and do all the things, is a very high one. That's why we are not able to provide good number of books to those students. Does this institution of excellence like yours is doing something technological changes to bring down the cost of the book so that a good number of the books in literature can be provided to these people? Your response.
Yeah, thanks for the very prominent question. So in this regard of question, I can quickly point out a couple of research areas where Department of Design is already contributing. And so these are the books where different materials, because we mentioned the cost of the material. So the research has been done to provide different materials which are cost effective and through different kind of interactions. So Braille has this raised dots, but through what happens when the raised lines are replaced by some other kind of formats. So can they be or no? So probably I would direct you, even you can get in touch with Professor P.V.M. Rao, who is a professor in mechanical engineering and department design. So he has been doing lots of research with the Raised India Foundation, Raised Lines Foundation, and they have do come up with these kind of even storybooks for visually challenged students. So because even in the storytelling tradition, it has been seen that, let's say if I want to show them a comic book to visually impaired children, how do we do that? It's a pretty complex thing. So in that sense, reducing the complexity of comics and reducing them to just bare minimum raised lines, but also reducing the cost of it. So I think these research areas are already available. You would have to take a look in that. Thanks.
Presently, we were in search when we were executing our library transfer this year. We were also that we could procure good number of books for these disabled children. But two things came in our mind, and that was also discussed with the IITs in Jammu also, because they told us that the requirement is costly one, and second is to store them and to put them in a proper place. That is also very cost effective. That's why we could not do that. So that's why I put a question before all the excellent persons that you should develop it. We are coming on the hybrid mode. We are coming from the e-content and then the physical library of booklet. Why not technology should come in between, and the cost price escalation and the storage should be made a very comfortable one, so that good number of comics books and other books can be provided to them also. That will be the difference. Thank you. Yeah, we have. Yeah. Because when we go to FLN, we need those books also. For pre-primary, even we need the books also. That's why we have made a request to go in depth for this, and our research and our product should come out very easily so that these books are made available to the students. Oh, thank you.
Good morning. So one more question from Chennai. Sir, actually we are creating some accessible learning content for our users, visually challenged. So if you are doing some work, you are preparing some content for an audio content or any digital content for accessible formats, maybe ACE, PUB3 like that, we can collaborate for our regional language, especially Tamil. Okay. So if you have taken any steps to creating the content, Tamil in accessible format?
So in accessible, especially for the visually impaired children?
Yeah, visually impaired children.
Yeah, so for the last 2 years, especially I can mention that there are a couple of projects so students who are working for projects like partially hearing to a full deaf children. So where there is lots of digital interaction based on audio cues, even gestural, so that even it's kind of access to both the kind of where the disability spectrum is more. Right? So we are not limiting that it is only gesture based, so that only the hard or partially hearing children can use it. But also if the format can be changed, they can also be used by visually impaired students by also interaction where the audio cues can come from the device itself. So I think we are also collaborating with one of the small NGOs which is named as Viohan. So they work in lots of places, Gurgaon based, and but this is something which we are again collaborating with that. But I think if you want to get more in touch, we'll be absolutely happy to be collaborating.
Because it's a pure, we need a Tamil content
Right.
for children, for learning in Tamil in our street board. So we are doing some work, but we are not especially expert in creating the content.
Right.
Okay, if you have some techniques or any tool for regional language, we can collaborate.
Sure, definitely, ma'am. I think we can get in contact. So I'll be happy to get you connected with other stakeholders who can help you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here I'll add two more things to it. So like IIT is our design partner for augmented reality and virtual reality of books. So idea is to bring in the art of storytelling in the form of augmented reality and virtual reality. So that a child and someone who has not taken up, say who is not in board exams, who does not have pressure of board exam or competitive exam, in initial years of learning, we should be engaging reading as something which is a happy thing. So virtual reality will take care of storytelling in the format which takes and makes reading engagement very likely that a child would take. Second aspect or other aspects related to braille books, audio books, we are working with another organization which is NIEPVD. So that is under Ministry of Social Justice. So we are coming up with braille books, audio books in that particular format, and that is something which is already in the process. So by next year when you are here, we will be here with virtual book at least 100 titles in all languages, where you can have immersive learning experience and you can feel the storytelling around you. You would be at the center of things where things will move around you for a child. Similarly for audiobooks, it is already in the process. We have come up with around 20-25 audiobooks, something which is going on. As Mr. Patel has already said, around 350 titles are available in Braille, but Braille with technology, that is something we have to still work on and we'll come up with that. So these are the three different areas we we would like to have welcome more and more content and your input so that anything which is related to content beyond textbook, we would be more than happy to adapt it and put our technology to it so that it is communicated faster.
Namaskar, I'm PK Singh from Madhya Pradesh. And it is a good gesture that when we are talking about the designing of the library.
Sir.
So this is the question that when we design a library, a school library, particularly for the small children, then we must think about some comic type of things. So these are available at the open market, but we couldn't purchase. So I think comics should be designed like in this manner that the subject content should be in there. Some dictionaries must be there. I think NBT does not publish the dictionaries. No?
I'll answer to this. NBT publishes only those things which are not readily available in market, so that accessibility
Okay.
I had come to the second point, sir. As far as graphic novels is concerned, Professor Subir and his team is assisting us in that, and we are coming up with so many state-specific graphic novels. Like for Gujarat, we had received requests last year, and we'll showcase some of the graphic novels which are being prepared. So we cannot take content as it is. We have to make sure that it is neutral, it is attractive, it is engaging, and it meets the requirement of a particular state. So that's how we are working state on state. But as far as dictionary in English Hindi is concerned, we are not doing that. We have Sabatar push. There was a gap in Hindi to Hindi that we did.
Okay. Actually, our restriction is that we can't purchase it from the market. We can.
This is the common question.
So it is there, and simultaneously some maps can be provided. Okay, so we can purchase it.
I'll answer to that. For the map concern, we have certain books which are already adapted, and for the dictionary, we will take it up again with internal management. I think there is CSPT which takes care of dictionary and other things.
And simultaneously some monthly magazines like science magazines, like this sports activity magazines. Could you provide this?
Consideration your point of view.
Please think about it. Thank you.
We have Readers Club Bulletin that takes care of every aspect in monthly basis. So that has little bit of science, social science, and book reading culture. All three aspects are covered, but to the extent that you want, we will take it into consideration and have it with our permission of our available chairman. We'll see how it works. Yeah.
आपको तो बच्चों के लिए नहीं है, लेकिन टीचर्स के लिए प्लेटफॉर्म है। जैसे लास्ट को हमारा हिंदी पे था, नेक्स्ट हमारा नेशनल साइंस पे और उसको 25 पेजेस रिव्यूज के होते हैं। तो न्यू कमिंग फोर कमिंग उसमें जो हमारी मैगजीन है ये बेसिकली टीचर्स के लिए है, उससे वो बच्चों को कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि उनके पास में जब बहुत सारे इन्फॉर्मेशन होगी तो वो बच्चों के अकॉर्डिंगली उनको ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं। तो हमारी बाई-मंथली मैगजीन है वो, और इट कॉस्ट वेरी लो, 225 रुपये एवर। सो इट्स अ नॉमिनल चार्ज।
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the wonderful questions and the reflections, and I really look forward to those who are interested to get back to us, and please be in touch and we can of course find a way forward for contributing to children more. Thank you.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर सुबीर। आपने इस चर्चा को एक नया दिशा दिया है, क्योंकि हम सभी लोगों के लिए चैलेंज है कि प्रिंट से डिजिटल की ओर किस तरीके से जाया जाए। हमारा अगला सेशन जो है वो नेशनल मिशन ऑन लाइब्रेरी की मिशन डायरेक्टर श्रीमती मुग्धा सिन्हा जी का एक संबोधन है। मैडम आ रही हैं और मैं आपको एक चीज बताना चाहूंगा कि जो नेशनल बुक ट्रस्ट की किताबें इनिशियली स्टेज पे आप लोग यदि देखेंगे तो हम लोग एज ग्रुप वाइज करते हैं, नॉट दैट क्लास वाइज। ठीक है, उसका कारण ये है कि दिल्ली का पढ़ने वाला बच्चा और रिमोट इलाके के बच्चे के सोशियो इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर, मिनिमम लेवल ऑफ लर्निंग, एक्सेसिबिलिटी में थोड़ा सा अंतर रहता है। हम लोग को कोशिश रहती है कि आपको एक हार्डकर कॉम्पैक्ट नहीं हो कि ये किताब इसके लिए और ये इसके लिए नहीं है। और हमारी किताबों का स्पेशली प्राइमरी बुक्स का जो मेन टारगेट है वो मुख्य रूप से ये है कि बच्चा वर्णमाला को, शब्दों को पहचान सके, उसका इस्तेमाल करना सीख सके, अंक को पहचान सके, उसका इस्तेमाल करना सीख सके, रंग और आकृति को पहचान सके, उसका इस्तेमाल करना सीखे, और चौथी चीज जो आपने कह रहे थे कि जो मानवीय संवेदनाएं हैं उसको थोड़ा महसूस कर सके। मैंने जो महसूस किया कि हम लोगों की जो कैरिकुलम सिस्टम है उसके अंदर हम लोग इमोशनल कंट्रोल बहुत सारा नहीं सिखा पाते हैं, और इसीलिए ड्रॉप आउट्स, क्राइम, मिसयूज ऑफ टेक्निकल डिवाइसेस, एक्सीडेंट्स, अब्यूजिंग, ये इसका मुख्य कारण है कि हमारे पूरे सिस्टम में थोड़ा सा इमोशनल कंट्रोल की थोड़ी सी कमी हो जाती है। और चूंकि इस समय स्पेशली जब हम डिजिटल डिवाइसेस की बात कर रहे हैं, आप सभी लोग न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं और देखते हैं कि कोई दिन ऐसा नहीं जाता जिस दिन न्यूज़पेपर में ऐसी खबर ना 10-20 ना हो कि यंगस्टर्स ने, एडोलसेंट्स ने डिजिटल डिवाइस का मिसयूज किया है, लड़ रहे हैं, वीडियो बनाया, गर्ल्स का वीडियो बनाया, मिसयूज किया। तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है। जब जैसे ही हम लोग डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी की ओर मूव करते हैं तो हाउ टू यूज द इंटरनेट, हाउ टू रेस्ट्रिक्ट द इंटरनेट, हाउ टू मॉडिफाई द डिजिटल कंटेंट एंड हाउ टू यूज द डिजिटल कंटेंट, ये एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज हमारे सामने आने वाला है। तो हमको उसके लिए भी तैयार होना पड़ेगा। Sir.
We have got story books and other books and books on health and mental education.
Sir.
I was just putting one thing, but I have observed that we have got a lot of literature regarding health, medical education, environment, social justice, everything. But one thing somewhere, sometime missing in the story books and others, that is character education that is being not seen properly there. In our present education system, what I have observed, that this is a basic thing we are losing in this materialistic world. We are putting the things in such a way that the child is getting everything. And that too with regard to materialism. The part of the character education is somewhere missing. And that's why most of the time we see that the child who is today a child and when become adults and he's not taking the ownership in itself for a nation. So my request is while drafting story books and other books, even the comic books, such type of the content must be there right from the beginning where a child has got a character education in that. We may imbibe in that through the stories, not by educating him that this is your country and you are for this country.
एक्चुअल क्या सर कि जो टेक्स्ट बुक होती हैं जो उनका प्रीचिंग अप्रोच होता है वो एनबीटी की बुक्स में नहीं होता है। मैं आपको एक कहानी है, राजा जो कंचे खेलता था, किंग हु प्ले मार्बल। एक कहानी है कि एक छोटे बच्चे को राजा बना दिया जाता है और he is least bothered about the Raj something। कोई आके बोलता है कि he was playing with the marbles और कोई कहता है कि किसी देश ने हमला कर दिया, राजा आप क्या करना चाहेंगे? तो कहता है कि मैं इस खेल में व्यस्त हूँ, मेरा बचपन बना रहने दो, मुझे राज का क्या करना है। अब हमारी जो कहानी होती है ना वो एक इनडायरेक्ट तरीके से मैसेज है। जैसे एक कहानी हमारी आप देखेंगे असम या ओरिजिनल है, धनेश के बच्चे ने उड़ना सीखा हॉर्नबिल। उसके अंदर एक कहानी है, यानी जो जिन लोगों ने धनेश को हॉर्नबिल को नहीं देखा उसकी एक स्टोरी चलती है कि एक वो बताता है किस प्रकार से जो मादा हॉर्नबिल होती है जब वो प्रेग्नेंट होती है तो नर हॉर्नबिल उसको पेड़ के खोल में रख देता है और अपनी बीट से उसको पैक कर देता है, उसकी अकेले चोंच बाहर रहती है और जब तक उसके बच्चे नहीं हो जाते हैं तब तक वो उसको पूरा इकट्ठा करके फीड करता है। उसके बाद आगे कहानी चलती है कि बच्चा बाहर आता है, उड़ना नहीं सीखना चाहता है, पेरेंट्स को थोड़ी देर के लिए खुला छोड़ देते हैं। When he felt hungry or he saw one small frog, he immediately jumped and started to fly। अब आप देखिए इसके अंदर जो हम बोले try to find out the messages, try to find out the messages is actually the adult mentality। Children always find his or her message from his own way। उसने उससे सीख लिया कि हॉर्नबिल एक पक्षी है, हॉर्नबिल के जो रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम है कैसे काम कर रहा है। हॉर्नबिल में उसने साफ बता दिया कि एक लेडी को उसका जो पति है कैसे केयर कर रहा है और अंत में बता दिया कि आपको अपने लिए खुद ही उड़ना सीखना है। तो हमारी कहानियों की खासियत होती है अंत में नहीं बोलते तो फिर आप सदा महात्मा गांधी बने, तो आप सदा सच बोले। We do not want to preach them or the message like it। एक स्टोरी में अपना एक मैसेज है, उसको अपने तरीके का एक्सेस करना होगा और उसके लिए क्या है कि जो हमारे टीचर्स हैं उनको हमको सिखाना होगा कि हाउ टू यूज नॉन करिकुलर बुक्स एज अ सप्लीमेंट्री ऑफ द सपोर्टिंग कंटेंट ऑफ द करिकुलम। तो हमारी जो बातचीत के लिए मैडम को आना है, उनको शायद थोड़ा समय लग रहा है, तो हम चाहेंगे कि इतनी देर में आप लोग थोड़ा विश्व पुस्तक मेले की झलकी देखें, फिर हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे। मुझे लगता है कि बातचीत में ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा। तो जो लोग अभी जो हमारे साथी अभी पार्टिसिपेट नहीं किए उनसे भी उम्मीद करता हूँ कि वो लोग हमको मार्गदर्शन करें जिससे हम अच्छी किताबें निकाल पाएँ। तब तक हम वर्ल्ड बुक फेयर का एक झलकी देखें।
community libraries. Kindly take your seats.
दोनों स्क्रीन खाली हुए प्ले तो कर दो। हाँ ठीक है। रिकॉर्डिंग हो गई है। यानी दो से म्यूजिक को राजेश चाय कॉफी ले लेंगे। पिक्चर डिस्प्ले करने पड़ेंगे किसको व्हाट्सएप किसको कैसे पिक्चर स्पीच के बीच में डेली नमस्कार। आप सभी लोगों से अनुरोध है कि आप अपने चाय के कप के साथ यहाँ आ जाएं ताकि हम नेशनल मिशन ऑन लाइब्रेरी का जो हमारा नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन है उसको शुरू कर सकें। प्लीज आप सब लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप लोग चाय के कप लेके यहीं आ जाएं। बंद किया सर एक मिनट
अभी बोलेंगे कुछ? ये इस उस पर आ रहा है, मैं स्क्रीन लगा देता हूँ जब तक ब्रेक है। थैंक यू सर। चले
मैं आमंत्रित कर रहा हूँ नेशनल मिशन ऑफ लाइब्रेरी की मिशन डायरेक्टर श्रीमती गुप्ता सिन्हा जी को अपने वक्तव्य के लिए।
So very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you very much to the National Book Trust, the Ministry of Education, for inviting me for this very, very important conversation, if I can say, that I'm going to be doing now. It might sound like a monologue because I'm speaking to all of you, but I'd much rather, after this, whatever little I have to share of the kind of work that we do, I'm happy and open to your questions. And I'm also happy to share my number and my email ID because you are extremely important. Everybody who's sitting on the other side is extremely important for the work that I do in my beat as the Joint Secretary for Ministry of Culture. I look after national, all museums. I look after all the libraries, the archives, Anthropological Survey of India, and some other special projects that I do. I am extremely indebted to Colonel Yuvraj Malik for giving us this platform. And I will begin by talking about the National Conference of Libraries, which is one of the mega events, of the 3 mega events that I am doing as part of my responsibility under the 2nd edition of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav 2023. The National Conference of Libraries will be held in the Ambedkar Bhavan on the 4th and the 5th of August. We will be formally writing to all state governments, also writing to all the 755 district collectors, because if you've looked at the focus in the budget and also of the Honorable Prime Minister in his various Man Ki Baat, you will realize that there is a focus not just on libraries exclusively, but of taking libraries and making these libraries as knowledge centers of the community, especially at the village and the grassroots cutting edge levels. And I've met somebody from the Panchayati Raj Department of Bihar now, and I understand that this is also their focus, and she's here for that. And I'm hoping that all of you here are also looking to find out of how the center can partner and collaborate in a very healthy spirit of competitive and collaborative federalism, because state libraries, as I understand, is a state subject, but we have several schemes. So first I will talk about the National Conference on Libraries quickly. To tell you, we'll also be formally inviting you, your chief secretaries and all departments that look after the various libraries. The idea of this National Conference on Libraries is to bring back the focus on public libraries, on books, on rare manuscripts that we have, on publishing, on translation, on languages, on linguistics, also because, and also focusing especially on children and the geriatric population, because for the geriatric population, there is nothing better than a library after a garden as a place of congregation, and I think we need to focus and bring back the whole literary festival culture that is happening outside in hotels back to where it best belongs, which is the libraries. So we are also looking at doing conversations. We have various sessions. We will apprise you of the various kind of sessions. We'll also talk about the various kind of schemes that the government of India has, which work very closely in cooperation and collaboration with the state. So that is as far as the national mission on the National Conference on Library goes. I will now switch focus to a little bit of the context before I talk of the various schemes that I have, because I understand your attention and your focus will be on what you can get from the various schemes that we have in our ministry. But please bear with me, because libraries is an area of personal passion for me, and I'm very happy that I have received it as some kind of a grace to be able to do this and write this also as part of my profession. I'm extremely grateful for that. But I understand when people look at libraries and people who have charge of libraries, the public perception about people handling libraries makes the officer think that we have got not such a great charge, and because of which they are not able to bring the passion to drive the whole library movement and library. So let me also tell you, my idea, the government's idea which we are driving, is also to bring back a little bit of what you say, a respect to people who are driving this whole initiative, because you should not look at it from the lens, because the lens is driven by a particular context. And let me talk a little bit about the context. See, we live in a very, very paradoxical age, the age of mental anxiety, the age of superconnectivity, because of the fact that 80 million people out of 1.3 billion people in our country have access to mobile. Some 80 plus 6.8 crore people have access to internet. There is definitely a digital divide. But apart from that, we are also living in an age where publishing has boomeranged. We have in any particular year about 150 lakh books coming out of India alone. I can say that because we also drive what is called the Delivery of Book Act, where each and every book that is published comes to our national library. So we know those are the number of books that are actually getting published in any 1 year. When you look at it in this way, while publishing has become easy, today everybody can translate easily from being a writer to being a published author or a poet in any language. There is a market for reading. But when you look at the other side of the paradox, you find that people are reading less. The access, the approach to libraries, in fact, have become places where only those children who are taking competitive exams are going. We have lost that entire, there is a missing generation of readers. Maybe it is quite possible that readers are reading in the comfort of their home. They're reading from probably through digital devices. The mode of how you read is also changing. So people also are not invariably reading. People are also reading through audio books. People are also listening to books now through the various podcasts or other kinds of books that are available. We also have huge kind of technological intervention for the division to be able to access books. So while access is available, there is no handshaking happening from the other side, where readers say, well, it's for the first time that readers can't say that we don't have books in the market, we don't have access to books in the market. It's a question that we are asking, whether readers are actually reading, and what more can we do to bring the readers back to the books and readers back to the libraries. So now I'll quickly come back to the various schemes I have. First I'll talk of the 3 missions that we have. This is what will interest the officers who are sitting here, people who have come from the library beat, if I can say that. So we drive in the Ministry of Culture, we drive 3 missions. One mission is called the National Mission on Library. That looks at everything from infrastructure in a library to the programming, to support for books, mobile vans, braille, everything. You think of a library and we do everything. We are almost like the LIC in terms of from cradle to the grave, in terms of you think of any aspect of book and we are there from this side to the end, from the start to the finish, if I can say that. There's another mission, because libraries, the general conception of people about libraries is that they are only dead places with books, unlit, non-well-lit, dark, damp structures where you go, we have some cupboards, and you just have some books which are moth-eaten, dust-ridden, and librarians are some people from the 16th or 17th century which have no idea, using some very outdated software. That's the general impression of the people. But the world is changing, and we want you to change, and we are here for you to be able to make that transition. Please use our services. This is a services age. We are the SAS for you, and we tell you These various missions that we drive are like the SAS for you. We provide you a service, and we are here to be in service for everybody who has passion for libraries, who wants to bring about a change in the library movement in the country. The first thing that we are expected to do is urge the state to have a library legislation, because you will appreciate that the library is a state subject. But I will come back a little later and explain in detail about the National Mission on Libraries. But libraries also have something which is very, very important, which they have rare collection of books. India is a very ancient civilization, 5,000-year plus civilization. We were a Smriti and Stuti civilization. The Gutenberg press came only in the 18th century. Before that, everything was passed on either orally or through the palm leaf manuscripts or various versions. So our libraries also have those kinds of ancient, handwritten, calligraphed, illustrated. Today what you call the graphic book actually is nothing new. Or the encyclopedias which is a Western understanding. I can show you in my libraries books that are illustrated, painted, hand-painted, beautifully calligraphed. Also books in which the Rajas and Maharajas of those olden times have taken notes, like the way we take notes and dog-ear our books. So libraries are also like the banks. They have huge vault of manuscripts, and because of that, there is a need to do preservative conservation and curatorial conservation. So we also run a mission for all those libraries in the state, the districts and the villages, and also for people who hold private collections of these manuscripts and rare documents. We run what is called two missions: the National Mission on Manuscripts and the National Archives of India, which drives the National Archives Mission, which also has schemes for the state and the district libraries, and also for the libraries at the rural, village, community levels. Now I will focus on the National Mission of Libraries. The National Mission of Libraries, in collaboration with the state, because we want to partner with the state, we finance, provide incentives through 4 modules that we have, and I will speak about these modules. We provide assistance, different kinds, I'll speak about it, to 35 state libraries, which are chosen by the State Library Committee, which is either headed by a political executive in your state or headed by an education secretary, or whichever department looks after the libraries in your state. So the choice of the library is yours, and if your state has not accessed that privilege that comes as part of the National Mission on Libraries, please go back, look at the State Library Committee, tell them to recommend your state to us. I have money, I'm happy to assist the state library, which is chosen by your state for assistance, and I'll tell you what kinds of assistance we give. We also similarly help 35 district libraries, again chosen by the State Library Committee and recommended to us, and we give you, I'll tell you how much. We give you 2.237 crores for the state library, it's a share matching grant. We give you 87,000 lakh for the district library. And I'm very happy to say that we have the 10th PMU, the 11th PMU of the library, National Mission on Library, due in March. So if you go back and send me, I will be very happy to sanction the amounts that I have mentioned to you. If you can't do it now, you must plan to do it in the next financial year, because your states will benefit by this collaboration. And now what do I give you the money for? For both the state and the district, I give you money for all kinds of modernization of your reading rooms, which includes all the furniture, which includes even ACs if you want. It also includes provisions for wireless. It also includes equipments and technologies for digitization. It also includes all technologies and equipments for conservation and preservation, fumigation, humidifiers. You think of it. The problem lies, because when I get these kind of proposals, compactors also, the problem lies is that the states and the districts are not able to imagine. You are not aiming high enough. You are still asking me for steel racks when I can give you compactors. Yeah? So I am telling you, money is not a problem. I have sufficient and more to give you every year, but you have to imagine, you have to have your standards high. Ask us for things, we will help you translate your dream, because I feel the reading, please don't look at only libraries from the people who sit in the library's perspective. Because the Honorable Prime Minister has been saying this, and I myself believe this very much, that the libraries should be for the citizen. Place the citizen in the center. Step into his shoes and move in a library and see, will you sit on the table and proceed? Will you sit in a room which doesn't have proper lighting? Will you go to the toilet that doesn't have a proper commode or a flush or water? Will you go to a library and sit from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. which doesn't have a cafeteria? Gentlemen and ladies, I'm giving you money under the National Mission on Libraries. Please access that money. Please think big. Please decorate your libraries. Make the libraries the drawing rooms of your communities. That is very, very important. I also give you money for purchasing books. And these amounts are not small. These amounts are big amounts. They should match the imagination that you have, the way, the vision that you want, the state, the vision that the state has to translate the district and the state libraries. In fact, if you have seen the latest awards that were given by the Indian Express, you found that two gentlemen from districts have got an award for driving this library movement in the villages. We are also going to now do the state ranking of libraries and the district ranking of libraries. We will also pick up people, individuals and institutions who have done good work. There is another suggestion which is not part of the scheme, but I would like to offer this suggestion, having worked in this department for now the last 4 months. My suggestion is the libraries are not talking to each other. Please don't exist in silo. It doesn't help us only to talk to each other, but you should all talk to each other as well. If you have something interesting in terms of a book or a program, please share it with other people. Data is the new oil which is driving the economy, the creative economy. Libraries are part of the creative economy, not just the digital economy. And 3% of jobs and contribution to GDP is happening through this. And libraries are very, very essential part of the creative economy. So if you become collaborators, then all the database of book federations, book lovers, authors will become your oil which will drive this movement, and you can become very, very important for not being recognized for being the secretaries, directors and librarians of libraries. You will be the people who will be sought after, and that is the vision that you must take to drive the library mission. The second thing that we have is what is called, you should also plan in your budget. When you do your budgeting in the state, you must look at the matching share that the state has to give, and you must get budget announcements done about your one state library and one district library, so that you are never short of funds when you approach us. That is a small trick, administrative trick, if I can tell you. So everybody who has to get into the budgeting side of things must look at it for the new financial year that is coming. Now let me also focus a little bit and talk about the Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation, which has two verticals of schemes. One is the matching scheme, one is the non-matching scheme. I will talk of the matching scheme, again, whether the state is requested to chip in a bit of money. And we give for a new library which has just been built, be it in the state, be it in the district, be it in the village, be it in the private, we give from anywhere between 25 lakhs to 1 lakh just to set your library, just to get started on the library. So if there are people, look at geriatric people who have huge collection of book, and if they are willing to donate, then that's a good beginning. If they're willing to donate their houses, their lands, you should drive this in the state. You should take on work, because that is something which is missing. No scheme will tell you, but this you can do creatively and imaginatively. We will help you give money to do an adaptive reuse of that place to convert it into a library. Lot of your in the wards, in the rural areas and in the Nagarpalikas, lot of these bhavans are being made. Those multi-purpose bhavans can be named as libraries and reading rooms, and you can access money It can be used for a whole multiple purposes, but you can access money. I see somebody from Rajasthan, so I can say that in our state we gave an idea which was budgeted last year when I was there. And the idea was that all the Ambedkar Bhavans that are coming up in the wards should become reading rooms for the public, for the people, the students who are taking competitive exams, so that they can access them without any cost. And then you can furnish them as libraries. So you can access all those. I will help you set up those libraries under the Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation matching schemes. In the matching schemes, again similar to the National Mission on Libraries, because there the numbers are restricted. Here there is no restriction on numbers. Right from the village community library to individual libraries up to the state central libraries, we are giving you money across everything. You think and we have a scheme to give you money. If you can't think, then you can't access a scheme. You know, read the scheme. The schemes are all available on our Indian Culture portal and the Raja Ram Mohan Library Foundation. I give you money for buying a mobile van. If you already have a van, then I can give you one-time grant to run it. If you can get a mobile van, then I can also give you some other books in the van. I can give you books in Braille. I can give you books in all the formats that you want. We are also giving you newspapers in vernacular language right down to the village level. We are giving you money for infrastructure, modernization, for decorating, for doing anything that you want to do in the library except for physical construction of a full-fledged new library, because we don't want to take away the power of the state to actually also build the library, because libraries are a state subject anyway. We want to help you do the embellishments that you would need in times to come for the library. We will give you softwares, we will give you digitization support. We are doing capacity building. So if you want to do capacity building, we are here. We have also enrolled ourselves in a very big mission called the One Nation, One Subscription mission. So you can also get everything, the J stores of the world, by being a part of the National Mission on Libraries. All you have to do is write and express your interest. We will do everything, all the hand-holding we will do as part of bringing the libraries at par with other, something like a smart city. So you should also feel proud that you are driving the smart library movement and not just smart city movement. I want you to have ownership and feel pride in the fact that you are part of the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister driving the libraries into the future. Because we cannot grow into the future without accessing our past, without knowing who we were, and books and libraries are actually the storehouse of doing that. They were centers of education earlier. Now the formal centers of formal education and informal education, supplementary ancillary education have become separate. Human beings have created a lot of silos, but libraries can be a very, very good point for access of education. I will now come to something very essential, and this will be my last thing, and I'm happy to take questions after this. The Raja Ram Mohan Roy Foundation, Library Foundation, also has a non-matching scheme where we don't ask you for money at all. We give you money as the largest of our heart as part of the scheme, but I find, much to my, this thing, that I am not even getting people accessing that part, because somewhere people don't know about these schemes, and that is the reason I'm here standing in front of you and speaking about these schemes. Here we give you money to celebrate your libraries. Any centenary celebration of your library, 25 years of your library, 50 years of your library, 60 years of your library, 75 years of your library, 100 years of your library, 125 years of your library, so and so forth. I give you money to celebrate that occasion of your library growing from strength to strength, and simply for existing and being there for so many ages, so many years. So please use the funds. The matching funds, the non-matching funds actually are all for different kinds of programming requirement. You want to do programs, please use our funds. You want to organize lectures, please use our funds. You want to celebrate your foundation day and you're not 50 years old, you're not 25 years old, we give you money. You want to celebrate a centenary of a freedom fighter, of a great poet, or a great writer in your state, of your state, your vernacular language, your vernacular bolis, dialects, please access the money. We also give you money for programming apart from money for capital creation. What better scheme could you demand or could you ask for, which is giving you everything from creation of capital assets to programming assets, everything. So you can have your posters, you can do your publicity, you can also have book festivals as part of that. You can also organize literary festivals, library festivals. You can also introduce a lot of technology. But I'm very sad to say that none of you are excited knowing that the money exists. So I'm a government servant. I understand. Every time you talk of a scheme and you give people targets to do, you say, where is the money? Here I'm telling you, I'm holding the key to the money. I'm only asking you to be imaginative and write to me. Make the effort of writing to us so that we can give you the money that you deserve, the money that you want, the money that can enable all of us together to translate the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister to make our libraries public spaces. How do you negotiate a city? How do you aspire to be a knowledge economy? How do you aspire to be a Vishwa Guru if you can't make libraries? It's the brain which governs the body, no? Similarly, it's the libraries that should drive the smart cities. And we are very, very happy. I'm extremely happy, and I can't tell you how excited I am today to be able to get this opportunity to actually talk to all of you about these various library things, because I'm deeply passionate about the library movement, because you cannot, the body goes into comatose or coma when the brain doesn't work. I don't know how you can have smart cities when the libraries are not smart. And all your young generation, the Z, the Riz generation, if I can use the terminology, are actually all coming to a library. Just that library, also please understand, we are public servants. No, the public also is in various levels of the developmental trajectory, and also the economic trajectories of this varied interest group is different. Libraries are a leveler. They are not just the Archimedes lever to achieve certain things, to become the Vishwa Guru that we want to, but they are also a great leveler. Merit, this great book Michael Sandler has written from the Harvard University. He writes that the tyranny of merit, and I believe in it. He says that if it takes a village to raise a child, then nobody can claim to be meritorious, because there is huge amount of free time and leisure which so many people who have to work to earn their living don't have. We don't have the economic benefits of being able to buy books and become slightly better than somebody else in our classroom who's not able to be as intelligent as us. So this tyranny of merit, the libraries have a huge leveling effect, and they can actually counteract this whole concept of the tyranny of merit, because they are available to their resources, even for the people who don't have the resources in their home. So I think we must also look at them as something that can bring about a huge change in how we do governance for the people and how we provide welfare measures to the government. It's, food for the tummy is given by the midday meals, but food for thought is given by the libraries. And I think they have huge benefit in our system if we want. I will end with what Amartya Sen said. And I really, really believe in this, and I'm provoking you by writing on the very, very valuable words of Amartya Sen, and he said something, that philanthropy should not be looked as charity that we are doing to somebody else, because one, there are no others in this world. But it is very, very important, because when a person working in your household sees that you have 4 cars, you have trunk full of books, and he doesn't even have one, that is when crime happens in the country. We can't do much about a lot of things, but through the public libraries, we can at least sow the seeds of redistributive justice by giving people, if not Lakshmi, if not giving him a fish on a plate, we can at least teach him to fish for himself. I think that libraries have that kind of relevance and importance. So if you are here today, and if you are part of the library movement in any which way, if you are bringing your personality, your character, your job, your life's worth of anything to this mission, then I think you are absolutely relevant. You are the gods and goddesses in my eyes who are actually doing something very, very important for bringing this country, taking this country far ahead into the future, and also providing redistributive justice, economic welfare. You might not be recognized the way you need to be, but we are here to help you, we are here to handshake with you so that you are able to drive this. And also, when you put mehendi in somebody's hand, you can't do it without some of the color, becoming a part of our own self. I see our jobs like that. We will all be 60, we will also graduate. If we can only improve the condition of our libraries, we will benefit most when we reach that certain age where we would need companionship, and the books and libraries will be our best companions in our times to come, where we will really read them. So if we sow the seeds now, we will be able to benefit from the fruits and the flowering that will happen in times to come. Thank you very much for this very, very longish monologue that I've had. I'm happy to have your answers. I'm also going to share my official email for everybody and my mobile numbers. Please reach out to me. My name is spelled, my email is spelled as Mugdha, M-U-G-D-H-A .Sinha, S-I-N-H-A @NIC.in. I'm happy to help, and for those of you who would like to reach out to me on the mobile, I may not be able to take your call, but if you WhatsApp me with your name and designation and very specific query, I will get back to you. My maximum reach out time is 48 hours. So my numbers are 7042150000. So 70 42 15 0000. Thank you very much for being here. You really made my day today. And thank you NBT for having me. Thank you very much everyone.
धन्यवाद। आज की बात जब आप किसी को मेहंदी लगाते हैं तो कुछ रंग आपके हाथों में भी लगता है। तो एक खूबसूरत चर्चा और आप सब लोगों के लिए खुला न्योता अपने इलाकों की लाइब्रेरी को मजबूत करने के लिए। धन्यवाद मैडम मुग्धा सिन्हा जी। अब हम अपनी जहाँ पे बातचीत को हम लोगों ने रोका था उससे आगे भी चल सकते हैं। उसके पहले हम एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री दिखाएंगे, एक छोटी सी प्रस्तुति है हमारी किताबों के बारे में, वो पहले देखें फिर हम लोग इस चर्चा को और आगे बढ़ाएंगे।
Namaskar everyone. So I think most of the things about community library has already been spoken by Honorable Madam. So what I'm going to present over here is how does NBT bridge between with different government agencies, central agency and state agencies so that a thing can be moved forward. So this is the concept which we built as Gyan Sabha Kendra given the mandate in the budget, where we thought that community library and panchayats and wards both are important. Now how do you implement it? Library cannot be seen as, Madam has rightly said, as in isolation. It is like a living organism. So there is an environment which is equally important, content is equally important, and how do you mobilize people, that is equally important. So based on that, NBT is kind of providing consultancy where we can assist you in setting up library at every panchayat and every ward, coordinating between different state and central agencies. So this is one of the setup which we did with Government of Haryana, where they wanted us to help them, assist them in setting up libraries at 5,000 different panchayats. So this is the template. So here, National Design Center is our design partner. Like for technology, we take IIT as our design partner. For design, we have taken National Design Center, another central government agency, which will help us in designing community library at different places. When we go to community, it is not only limited to a There is no setup like building which can be allocated as library. It is different. Somewhere we get small Anganwadi center, somewhere we get Panchayat building, somewhere we get community center which is an isolated building and we need to redo it and convert into a public place as library. So this was one of the designs which we used. So when we use design, we try to connect it with the state's culture, art forms. So like for Haryana, we use this. Similarly, for different states, we have already created 28 templates for 28 states. So given the mandate or if the state requires us, we go to state and we can help you in setting up these libraries. So general, say there is a thumb rule for library. For every 10,000 population, I'm sure people who are dealing directly with library would know there is a seating. We assume that around there should be seating arrangement for 50 to 70 or 80 people in that community, and that should be 10 given the present time. 10 seats out of that should be for electronic or computer digital access. 50 to 60 should be for physical books. So that's how we design. I'll show you the design so that will explain. So this is how aesthetically it is designed. It has different concepts. Like there is a separate reading space in certain places in villages we found. So the right hand corner is corner dedicated to our women, where there is a dedicated corner that encourages them to take their place and they also can come to public library. Then there is another corner which is meant for children. This area is meant for somebody who is preparing for competitive exams and want to be very focused while he is studying, not getting distracted. So we propose to have cubicles like this. This is children activity area. Another aspect is here that in these libraries we put up local heroes. So for any village, if there is someone who is even a bureaucrat or a soldier, he is local hero. So we put up his picture at that particular library so that there is a connect. So this was about the concept of design. Next thing comes about content. We have identified content and categorized into different sections, which includes agriculture, health and wellness for older people, and local knowledge depository which belongs to that particular state. So we have curated list of books which does not only include NBT books but other books also which are suggested and that you people can take help of. Now, Mr. Mehta from Gujarat, sir, we had received requests from your state that particularly we should reflect graphic novels in terms of which reflect the state's identity plus something which is specific about that state and which not been published or highlighted. So we have prepared first graphic novel based on Hola Veera. So that shows that particular culture and there is a connect between today's time and that time so that people can take pride in and also know about their culture and heritage. So we welcome inputs from all other states if you want to show. Now, whereas we were talking about community libraries, see how we have extended in terms of mobile exhibition van, and this particular thing was part of. So we did one mobile book exhibition which was from along with the river Ganga. So this covered and remembered each and every say renowned author, poet who wrote about Ganga or who flourished their literature along with the river Ganga. Along this journey, we also, you have a look at it there and come back to it. State which falls on the banks of Ganga and each city. So, through this exhibition, we reached out to at least 2 lakh students at different states, different schools. What did we teach? The history of Ganga, the culture of Ganga, the environmental aspect of Ganga. We also conducted illustrations workshop, creative writing workshops, and the students who have written over here, we have compiled their collection. We would be coming up with a book based on the writings made by students and the illustrations used by these students as Voice of Ganga, and which would be released in coming months. Second aspect here important was that we also started 2 floating river-based mobile libraries in Varanasi and Patna. So anyone who goes to Assighat in Varanasi will find Ganga Pustak Parikrama, which is a floating boat where there are books kept and provided free of cost by us. Anybody who is going over there can have a read and look at those books and read it. This has started with Ganga and we have taken it to Kaveri, Krishna, Mahanadi and Brahmaputra. So last year we did 4 such exhibitions including Ganga. This is 5 and this is a regular feature which NBT would be doing, and we would also be setting up different floating libraries so that reading is a pleasure. While you are also traveling, you can enjoy reading, and as a culture we can promote it. Thank you so much for your time.
तो आप सभी लोग लंच के लिए आमंत्रित हैं और उसके बाद में हम लोग चर्चा को थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ाएंगे। लंच के लिए स्वागत है। एक 2 मिनट हमारे गुजरात के साथी मेहता जी कुछ अपना एक उन्होंने जो किताबें डेवलप की उस पर शो करना चाहते हैं, वो देखें और फिर हम लोग लंच के लिए जाएंगे।
नमस्कार। अभी हमने अच्छा सा नाश्ता किया है तो भूख भी लगी नहीं है ना? हमारे जो अवेलेबल फंड में से इस साल के बजट में से और कुछ हमारे स्टेट के बजट में से छोटे बच्चों के लिए कुछ साहित्य देने का जो प्रयास किया है, वरुण लगाइए। ये हमारा जो निपुण का जो ग्रांट होता है, FLN निपुण शेप जॉयफुल लर्निंग के लिए हमने टेंडर फ्लोट किया है, वो बिल्कुल प्रोसेस में ये किए। नेक्स्ट वुडन आर्टिकल है बच्चे के लिए, ये इसका मटेरियल भी बहुत बढ़िया है। नेक्स्ट आगे भाई, दीज आर द सैंपल्स ओनली। नेक्स्ट हाँ, shapes and actual shapes और न्यूमेरिकल्स के लिए हमारी एबिलिटी होती है। आगे भी हाँ, ये है ना हमारे, ये वर्णमाला है, क ख ग, वो बच्चा उठाएगा डालेगा, उसको परिचय देने का ये वुडन आर्टिकल है, बिल्कुल सेफ है। ये टेंडर फ्लोट किया हम देने वाले हैं। नेक्स्ट These are the numbers, lines, and they will match. Next. ये अक्षर है हमारे अ आ ई उ व्यंजन, कॉन्सोनेंट एंड वोवेल्स, ये स्वर है, ये भी वुडन आर्टिकल है। नेक्स्ट, ये कोयडा है, वो बच्चों को मैच करना होता है। नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट, हाँ ये ब्रेल में डेवलप किया हमने, ब्रेल एंड कॉमन लॉ इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन के लिए। जो बच्चा कॉमन बच्चे को जो चीज देते हैं वही नीचे हम ब्रेल में प्रिंट करते हैं। दिस इज यूनिक फॉर अवर स्टेट। ये जो ऊपर जो चीज छपी है वो नीचे ब्रेल में है। जैसे कि वो कमल का फूल है, कमल के बारे में जो लाइन्स लिखी है वो नीचे ब्रेल में प्रिंट की है। तो द फर्स्ट टाइम वी आर गिविंग टू द स्कूल्स वेयर द स्टूडेंट आर स्टडीइंग। नेक्स्ट, ये भी स्टोरी है, ब्रेल ब्रेल स्टोरी, ब्रेल प्रिंट हुई है। नेक्स्ट, ये गुजरात में इस साल म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट हम दे रहे हैं सभी स्कूल को, सभी स्कूल को अकॉर्डिंग टू द नंबर ऑफ द स्टूडेंट। अगर 100 से कम नंबर के स्टूडेंट है, इसमें 7 इंस्ट्रूमेंट दे रहे हैं। मैक्सिमम 500 प्लस को ये सब दे रहे हैं। ये पिक्चर के साथ, उसके स्पेसिफिकेशन के साथ हमने सर्कुलर किया है। स्कूल अपने आप खरीदेगी, मगर वो स्पेसिफिकेशन क्या लेना है, उसका कीमत मैक्सिमम कितनी होगी, वो सब इस बार हमने, आप देख सकते हो कि हारमोनियम है, बोंगो है, ढोलक है, बांसुरी है, मंजीरा है, वो क्या बोलते माउथ ऑर्गन है, सभी चीजें हम दे रहे हैं पूरे एंटायर स्टेट में। नेक्स्ट, ये विद्या प्रवेश जो साला तत्परता कार्यक्रम होता है, ये 5-6 ईयर से 5 ईयर का हमारा हो गया एडमिशन, तो 1 साल में गैप ना रहे इसलिए हमने डेवलप किया है। नेक्स्ट, ये भी ब्रेल में है, ब्रेल एंड कॉमन लैंग्वेज। हाँ, ये छोटी छोटी बोर्ड बुक हम दे रहे हैं, छोटी छोटी बुक्स 5 इंच to 5 इंच। ये सेट ऑफ 24 बुक्स, set of 24 books. If the students are 60 in first, second, third standard, we will give you the set of 24 book, one set. There are more than 60, 2 set. More than 120, we are giving the 3 sets. About the vehicle, about vegetables, about birds, about insects, flowers, etc. Next. ये भी शाला तत्परता कार्यक्रम है। स्कूल रेडीनेस प्रोग्राम, वार्तानो बदलो, स्टोरी बुक्स, एज एप्रोप्रिएट स्टोरीज फॉर स्मॉल। यू नो अबाउट गीजूभाई बदेगा, who was the eminent storyteller. तो ये वार्तानो बदलो वी हैव पब्लिश्ड। ये निपुण भारत के लिए गाइडलाइन फॉर द टीचर्स। नेक्स्ट, okay, this is the humble efforts from my state, and we would like to get new things from you also.
यदि आप में से और कोई साथी भी कुछ प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं तो स्वागत है। निदेशक महोदय महत्वपूर्ण घोषणा करना जा रहे हैं अभी।
थैंक यू प्रेम जी, बहुत बहुत आशा है आपका जो मॉर्निंग सेशंस हैं थोड़े फ्रूटफुल रहे होंगे, कुछ नए इंसाइट्स आपको मिले होंगे, नई चीज़ों के बारे में, NBT गतिविधियों के बारे में। चूँकि ये नया दौर क्रांति का दौर है, टेक्नोलॉजी का दौर है, और हम भी उस स्पीड को मैचअप करना चाहते हैं, और NBT एक पुराने क्लासिक मॉडल के साथ साथ मॉडर्न इंजन से भी चले और हमारी बात आप तक तुरंत पहुंचे। हम अपना कंटेंट बिना किसी संकोच के फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट आपको दे सके, उसके लिए हम एक शुरुआत करने जा रहे हैं। जैसे कि आप स्क्रीन पर देखेंगे राइट मोस्ट द बुक चैनल, हमारे हर प्रोग्राम, हर कंटेंट को आप फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट जियो TV पे देख सकते हैं। जल्दी इसको लॉन्च हो जाएगा। इस चैनल को आप लिंक करके आपके जो ट्रांसमिशन मेथड्स हैं, बच्चे हैं, उनको आपको वर्चुअल बुक फेयर दिखाना है, बुक फेयर कैसा होता है, वो भी मिलेगा। न्यू दिल्ली बुक फेयर आप देख के आए, अपना अनुभव शेयर करना, वो भी आपको वहाँ मिलेगा। यहाँ जो 600 प्रोग्राम हमने किए हैं, बुक सेशन, टॉक शो, बुक रिलीज, वो भी उनको देखने को मिलेंगे। तो जितना भी कंटेंट है हमारा डाटा तैयार हो रहा है तो उस पर हम अपलोड करते रहेंगे। आप निःशुल्क उसको, जिसके पास जियो फोन है उसके पास उसको फ्रीली एक्सेस करने की जो है लिबर्टी है। इसमें बड़ी शानदार चीज़ क्या है कि तो खुली किताब है, जो गांधी जी ने कहा था, लेट आवर लाइफ बी ओपन बुक्स। So the message is that let the book world be very open. That is the message of knowledge. Second point is, अगर आप देखेंगे ऐसा लगेगा कि डिश टीवी की टावर ट्रांसमिशन दे रही है सैटेलाइट आपको. It shows that it's a digital also and it is a content also. So the idea of this book, this channel, is to make digital connectivity for transmission of knowledge free of cost in all Indian languages at affordable prices. And affordable price here is nil. There's no money. So please use it. And that is our mandate. We are knowledge partner, we are just not publisher. Please use our expertise, please use our resources, please become our valuable collaboration and cooperation. And as a partner, we would like to extend whatever best we have and reciprocate in great job that all the state education sectors are doing. Thank you so much and बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। मुझे आशा है शायद अभी लंच खिलाएंगे आप हमें। आप सभी को मैं लंच के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूँ। थैंक यू।
शिशुअवस्था जीवन का सबसे महत्वपूर्ण काल होता है। इस अवस्था में बच्चों की मनोवृत्ति और रुझान कुछ नया सीखने की ओर उन्मुख होती है। बच्चों के मस्तिष्क का 85% 6 वर्ष की अवस्था से पूर्ण ही हो जाता है। बच्चों में सीखने की इसी प्रवृत्ति को ध्यान में रखते हुए नेशनल बुक ट्रस्ट इंडिया ने ऐसी पुस्तकों की रूपरेखा तैयार की है जिससे बच्चों की सहज और सरल समझ विकसित हो, ताकि ये बच्चे औपचारिक शिक्षा के लिए स्कूल जाएं तो वहाँ के वातावरण और पढ़ाई दोनों से भली भांति परिचित हों और सही प्रकार से शिक्षा ग्रहण कर सकें।
आकाश भाई, इस पे छोड़ दो, एजुकेशन पे, बोर्ड पे सुनो, बोर्ड यहाँ इधर कर दो, सुनो।
बीते जमानों की, दुनिया की, इंसानों की, आज की, कल की, एक एक पल की, खुशियों की, गमों की, फूलों की, बमों की, जीत की, हार की, प्यार की, मार की। सुनोगे नहीं क्या किताबों की बातें? किताबें कुछ कहना चाहती हैं, तुम्हारे पास रहना चाहती हैं। किताबों के संदर्भ में हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी कहते हैं कि पढ़ने से बड़ा कोई आनंद नहीं और ज्ञान से बड़ी कोई ताकत नहीं। वाकई किताबों के होने ना होने से कितना कुछ बदल जाता है। किताबें हमारे जीवन में ज्ञान और रोशनी की तरह है, जो हर कदम पर हम सफल बनकर हमें नया रास्ता दिखाती है। ज्ञान की इस रोशनी को जन जन तक पहुंचाने का संकल्प लिया है नेशनल बुक ट्रस्ट ने। नेशनल बुक ट्रस्ट भारत सरकार के मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्रालय के अधीन काम करने वाली स्वायत्त संस्था है, जिसका उद्देश्य देश भर में रीडिंग हैबिट्स यानी लोगों के अंदर अध्ययन की प्रवृत्ति का विकास करना है। भारत सरकार ने देश में पुस्तक संस्कृति को विकसित करने के लिए पढ़े भारत बड़े भारत नामक योजना चलाई है। देश भर में इस योजना को प्रभावी ढंग से लागू करने के लिए NBT पूरी प्रतिबद्धता के साथ काम कर रहा है।
बड़े भारत एक केंद्रीय सरकार की महत्वाकांक्षी योजना है। इसका उद्देश्य सिर्फ छात्रों के अंदर पढ़ने लिखने की और नए ज्ञान को प्राप्त करने की लालसा जागृत करना है।
NBT देश भर में हिंदी और अंग्रेजी के साथ साथ विभिन्न स्थानीय भाषाओं में पुस्तकें उपलब्ध कराने की मुहिम शुरू कर चुका है। इस मुहिम के तहत NBT ने 50 से अधिक भारतीय भाषाओं की पुस्तकों का प्रकाशन किया है, जिसे देश के 16 राज्यों और केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों के करीब 1.5 लाख स्कूलों में वितरित किया गया है।
ये पुस्तकें उम्र के हिसाब से तैयार की गई हैं। कक्षा के अंदर जो पाठ्य पुस्तकें छात्र पढ़ता है, उसके अतिरिक्त ज्ञान को देने के लिए सहायक पुस्तकों का निर्माण राष्ट्रीय पुस्तक न्यास ने किया है।